anymore. It's just a follow-up because we already know that there's big questions concerning JKIA, the Adani deal, and of course, if there were any competitive tenders for the bidding of this deal. And as we look at that, we know that there's moments in time when Kenya, just a few months ago, we had the Gen Z-led protests, and with that, there was a deal being brokered somewhere at the corner. And because a dossier was given, then the most of the Gen Z leaders, and of course, Gen Zs definitely knew that there was something up. And of course, it's the Adani deal. And the big question was, is our airport being sold?
That's right. And a lot of people did make that claim. And President William Ruto was very quick to say that there was no sale and only a madman would try and sell a national strategic asset the size of JKIA. He said that Kenya's biggest airport is not going to be sold. It was only a lease. He said, quote, "I have seen many people saying William Ruto wants to sell the airport. Am I a madman? How do you sell a strategic national asset? You have to be insane." He instead argued that it was only a lease without naming Adani or any other investor, and added that private capital from the lease would help Kenya catch up with regional competitors.
And of course, our president clearly stated in his words that I'm also doing something about the airport. Let's be honest, Kenyans, the airport we have in Nairobi is made of canvas. Ethiopia and Rwanda have brand new airports. This is the reason why we need to work with investors to give us a new airport in Nairobi. And of course, nearly 2 months later, the Adani's proposal for a $2 billion project and 30-year JKIA concession agreement has become a political hot potato, especially after details emerged that the government has also lined up 4 additional multi-billion-shilling deals for Adani in the energy sector.
That's right. And this deal between Adani and, of course, the government was brokered while CS Kipchumba Murkomen and his transport counterpart Davis Chirchir were in charge. But, of course, there was no competitive tendering, and it was a private deal that went through, and that brings about issues of transparency. The Kenya aviation workers were on strike the other day, of course, because they say they don't know the finer details of the deals. They don't know exactly what will happen to them. They want full transparency, and they actually did not want the deal to go through. And the fact that Adani is an Indian conglomerate which has had to face various lawsuits and legal action in other countries for similar deals is a bit worrying to a lot of Kenyans.
Yeah, and of course, just the other day we saw that the Senate was clearly saying that this is a done deal. It seems that signatures were appended somewhere, but more findings every single day just to get to find out that these privately initiated proposals were not we were not consulted, and this is our country and we are the taxpayers. So the concerns are critiques raised, concerns over the lack of public consultation, possible corruption, and the long-term implications of foreign involvement in national infrastructure. What if Adani come into the country and they decide that we are not going to hire Kenyans?
And that was part of the contracts or the deals that were made, that they do retain the right to hire who they want. They can hire foreign nationals as well, and that every person who works for the Kenya Aviation Workers Union now would have to renew their contract on Adani's terms. So it's a genuine worry.
So let me ask you a question, Mariam. This is just you and I.
Okay.
Don't you think that there are Kenyans who can come together and actually give out these $2 billion?
I think so.
I think there's a good number of Kenyans who can actually privately own JKIA for that 30 years.
But should a national asset of that magnitude be privately owned? Absolutely not.